Hello, my friend. Welcome to Reflections and Music, praying with singers, sinners, and saints. As an 11-year-old child in 1971, I remember well the radio advertisements for a movie called Billy Jack. I didn't go see the film at a theater, but would see it many times later over the years on television. As a young teenager who was just beginning to learn about the protest movements of the 1960s through the music I was discovering, such as Buffalo Springfield's hit song For What It's Worth, Billy Jack's youth-oriented and anti-authority message, along with the martial arts fight scenes, appealed to me. When I watch movies from that era, such as Billy Jack, Planet of the Apes, and others, I glean entirely different meanings when viewing them as an adult. I did not catch all the subtleties and nuances that played out in these movies when I watched them in my teen years. Billy Jack, for instance, tapped into several historical and cultural themes of the day, such as the Vietnam War, the peace movement, the civil rights movement, the oppression of Native Americans, and the disagreements over counterculture and protest. In fact, as the movie appeared in theaters, protesters with the American Indian movement occupied Wounded Knee, and Sachin Littlefeather spoke on behalf of Marlon Brando at the Academy Awards as a protest over Native American representation in film. If you've seen this movie, you will remember that Billy Jack is a mixed-race Navajo, a Green Beret Vietnam War veteran, and a Hapkido master who defends the hippie-themed Freedom School and its students from the racist town people who do not understand or like the counterculture students. The centerpiece of the film features Billy Jack, enraged over the mistreatment of his Native American friends and fighting the racists throughout the movie before eventually surrendering to the authorities in exchange for a decade-long guarantee that the Freedom School will be allowed to continue running unhindered. As the film concludes, Billy Jack is driven away in handcuffs as young people line the road and raise their fists in a show of defiance and support, while the song 110 Soldier plays prominently. The Billy Jack movie struck a chord with audiences because it debated on screen what many Americans might have been discussing at the dinner table. Is nonviolent resistance too passive? Is by any means necessary the right approach? What is justice, and how do we achieve it? These are the same questions that some Americans began to ask about Martin Luther King's strategy of nonviolent and peaceful protest marches during the later years of the Civil Rights Movement. The center of Billy Jack's appeal lies in Billy Jack himself, with his iconic hat, Hapkido mastery, and his deep inner calm. He is a patient man who talks and moves slowly and deliberately until, that is, his patience reaches its limits because of the injustice and mistreatment he sees perpetrated on his friends. And then, in his own words from the movie, he goes berserk. He believes he is in the right by doing so, because in his mind, he is responding to the situation from his perceived moral high ground, and thus his violent actions are justified. It is at this juncture that the movie is perhaps just as relevant today as it was in the early 70s, especially when we consider the current state of politics, where groups on both sides of the political aisle will do or say anything and believe that they are right in doing so, because in their mind they are speaking or acting from a moral high ground, and thus they justify their violent words and sometimes even actual violence. But this course, my friend, is a dangerous path. lest we fall prey to the temptation of thinking that two wrongs make a right, which can cause us to become perpetrators of vengeful justice. Let us pray that our words and actions be always tempered with humility, honesty, and integrity, by nonviolence and peace, which does not mean that we can't be strong advocates for justice. Rather, in doing so, by the grace of God, we do not speak or act in the manner of those we claim to be against.
Go ahead and hate your neighbor. Go ahead and cheat a friend. Do it in the name of heaven. You can justify it in the end. There won't be any trumpets blowing come the judgment day. On the bloody morning after, one tin soldier